So a question came to me the other day. Someone was, there was a divorcing homeowner and they actually owned multiple properties. They had their primary residence that they were both living in, plus they had 3 rental properties. And they're wondering what happens with all the properties. So again, my name is Barbara. I'm a certified divorce real estate expert, and I am here to answer all your divorce real estate related questions. And one of the questions, Josh, that you brought up earlier was you said something about you had multiple properties.
Yeah, so we have our primary residence and then 3 rental properties. And
Okay.
then how do we proceed with all of those sales going through this divorce situation?
Okay. So the first thing we need to do, Josh, is, whether you have 1 property, 3 properties, 20 properties, is we need to figure out what the value is of each of the properties, okay? So we're gonna do an assessment of each of them, and then we need to figure out how much equity you have in each of the properties. So that the equity is gonna determine how the assets are going to be divided. Now, often when there's multiple properties involved, someone will say, well, you take 1 property and I'll take the other. There is an issue though if one of you are keeping the primary residence and another one is going to take one of the rental properties and they're gonna live in. So that is something that I highly recommend that you reach out to a tax attorney about, because there is a bit of a tax difference in how the rental property is assessed versus the investment property. Okay, so that's very, very important. But again, once we determine the value of the properties, we'll determine how much equity is in the properties, and then figure out, the tax implications. And then once we have all that information, then that is something that you're going to want to take back to your attorneys, and then you can figure out how you're going to divide. Are you going to sell all the properties? Are you each going to keep, one of the investment properties, keep it as an investment, or are you going to live in one of them? So you have to have all that information before you can make a informed decision about what your best option is.
Okay, so in our particular situation with the main residence and 3 rental properties, we bought one of them together, the other 2 I bought myself. Does that have any sway or meaning for this situation?
It could. So did you buy the properties prior to the marriage or during the marriage?
I bought one prior to it and the other during.
Okay. So, and was any marital income, meaning income that either of you had while you were married, used to maintain those properties?
So my income was used to purchase and maintain it. I'm not sure if that counts as marital income there, since it was from my side.
So we're gonna have to look at were the properties purchased as your sole and separate property? Even if they were, if there was marital, and I'm not an attorney, so this is just information that from previous cases that have come up. My understanding is, as long as some marital assets were used to maintain those properties, while the spouse would not be an owner, they could have what's called an equitable interest. So they might have some interest in the equity in that property.
Okay.
So that's why we need to get all the numbers together so that we can present it to the attorneys, and then help you figure out what options you're gonna have, whether you're going to keep the properties, sell them, how much equity in each of the properties belongs to each of you. Okay. So it can get very, very complicated when there's multiple investment properties involved, especially if some of them were purchased prior to the marriage, others while you were married, and if marital assets were used to maintain those properties. So all that information needs to be pulled together, and the attorneys will work with you on that to figure out how the equity in all the residential properties are going to be divided.
Okay.
Well, we get lots of questions about real estate in divorce situations, and we're here to answer your questions. So if you have other questions about divorce and real estate, please send me a message, send me a text, email, however you want to get a hold of me. I'm here to be able to answer any of your questions and hopefully help you make a good, solid, informed decision and be able to take that information to your attorney for you to be able to figure those things out.
And remember, just like the question I just asked Barbara, we might not have all the answers or might know some of them, but can always direct you to the specific experts that'll have the information that you need for each individual question.
Yes, we might need to send you to a certified divorce lending professional or a certified divorce financial analyst to help you figure out what your best options are. And we have all that information. We're more than happy to share it with you. So we do release new videos every week. So if you hit that bell icon, you'll get notified of our new videos. Now, if you liked this video, if it was helpful at all, if you go ahead and hit that like button, then other people will also find these videos and be able to get the answers to all their questions.